Clarisse Ndinge, founder of Better Media, founder of Better Teens, Better Girls Organization, and Better Merch, and a host for Better Topoto.
Hey, it's Kellen, and today, you guys, all the way from Cameroon, everything is better. Everything
Yeah.
you will see in the description box is better. I have Clarisse here. She is going to tell us how she just doesn't do public relations, TV. I mean, she's a whole media brand in herself, and we love to hear it from that 237 country code. How are you doing today, dear?
I'm fine, Kellen. How are you?
All is well, because you're going to give me so much inspiration of what's going on in Cameroon, what is going
Right.
on. But tell the people, why
Mm-hmm.
does everything fall under the same umbrella? Like, what's so special about that name? I must know to start.
You mean better?
Beta, yes.
Well, I think better represents me as a person. Like at the end of the day, we are here to do like to improve the world. We are here to make things, make situations, make the world, make life better than it was. So better just it's like inspiring me, even me myself and every other person that with whatever it is that we are doing. So if it is on if it is on the media, if it's on radio, if it's on TV, whatever if it's blogging, if whatever it is that we are doing, we should be better at it. So that's why I just went under the umbrella better, because I mean just the name motivates me to do the right thing and to just keep being better at whatever it is I'm doing.
Okay, I love it, because like from the pigeon definition to, like, if somebody says no, is it beta, that means that it's the measure of volatility, and start going on something totally different. So I wanted to
Yeah,
make sure we're clear on that. And
right.
how did you start? Like, where did you first get your start? Was it PR? Was it TV? What was it?
I actually started with blogging. That was the
Ah,
first thing. Yeah, it was Better Things at first, even though the name of the blog was not Better Things from the start, but blogging was my first platform because actually I have always been a fan of TV. So the original idea was to get on TV. But then you know how hard it is to get on TV, especially back then. That was like in 2013, 2014. It wasn't very easy because then, of course, you need funds to get equipment or to get a production deal, which is not easy. So the easiest outlet was the internet, was blogging. So my original idea was TV, but then since I now have the opportunity to get on TV, I said, okay, let me do what I can do right now, which is to create a blog. So I started with the blog, and then from blogging, that's how I got into. I mean, I started with the blog, and when I decided to professionalize the blog, and I started thinking about the name, Better Things just clicked. Why? Because of course, like I explained better before, and I wanted the blog to represent everything good, represent positive vibes, represent goodness. So that's why I called it Better Things. And then from there now, I start getting a lot of exposure, a lot of opportunities, and that's how a friend of mine reached out to me, and he was like, the music industry in Cameroon is like a baby industry. Right now, we don't have people doing PR. We don't have people doing this. I'm like, okay, what's PR? So that's how I started. That's how I Googled it. I started learning, because I did not. That's not what I studied in school. So that's how I started learning. I started checking out people doing PR in Cameroon. I reached out to a couple of them, checking out what they were doing, seeing how they were doing it, checked out people doing PR in Nigeria. And that's how I learned. And my first clients were artists. And from there, I grew and I created a PR agency called Better Media. And then from there, 2019, I had the opportunity to, start my TV show, which was my dream from the onset. Better Topo is the name of my TV show, which is basically a platform where people come and they share their stories. Like for me, Better Top is about sharing stories. So whether it's an artist, whether you're an entrepreneur, I believe that everybody has the story about the journey of their, of their success. So Better Topo is actually about sharing those stories, highlighting unique stories about people's journeys. So that's how I started my TV show, Better Topo 2019. And of course, like what many people have blogs do when you have a sphere of influence, you think about monetizing it. So besides getting, of course, adverts from brands, companies, individuals, you think about creating your own merchandise line, and that's how I created Better Merch, which is a merchandise line inspired by Better Things. And yeah, the last thing, the NGO, my NGO Better Girls organization. Actually, I created an NGO in 2017, I think, or yeah, 2017, because I'm a woman in the media. I'm an entrepreneur. I know how hard it is as a woman, and a lot of times I see a lot of girls that have a lot of skills that they can actually create, turn into careers, but then they don't know that they have it in themselves. So I created Better Girls Organization as a platform for women to inspire other women in all areas of life: entrepreneurship, relationships, religion, education, like everything. So yeah, I think that's my story in a nutshell.
Well, I'm gonna get more nosy because I'm glad you laid it out
Of
for the
course.
people. But I want to know, coming from the vlog, very humble because anybody can do it. So anybody can
Yeah.
start like you did, and then to say,
Mhm.
okay, from the vlog, I've made connections, I've gotten some insight, I've learned what PR is, even though I didn't study it, which most people didn't. I did. I actually taught it during grad school. I studied it
Oh.
so much because professors said, hey, you know more than us in some areas. Will you teach this? I said, sure.
Wow.
But then you did something that I think is every publicist, I call us PRtists. You did
Mhm.
something that I think all of us would love to do. You then went to TV. And yes, she has a YouTube, folks. So you will find that when you follow her and then you go on to Better Things on YouTube and subscribe. But you're also the host of it. So that takes a different type of drive, different type of muscle. Did you use your own money or did you find some funding? And if so, how?
Wow. Interesting. I actually used my own money, to start the TV show. It was hard from the start because if you go to my YouTube and you check out the first episodes of Beta Topo, you'd see that we're struggling like with technical equipment because then sometimes the sound is, is off. Sometimes the images are not bright enough because I mean I was doing what I could with what I had. I just told myself that I will start with what I have and eventually I'll grow into it. And that's just what I did. So I got a team and I was like, okay, this is what we have, this is what we can afford. So what can we do with this? And they're like, okay, this is it, this is it. And I started working. So I mean, the episodes really, if you watch the show, you'd see that we grew. Right now, we are in season 3. And if you check out season 1, it's nothing like season 3. Like the improvement is clear in terms of quality of images and quality. I mean, technical quality. Because the concept has always been the same. But then, of course, the financing to get the right equipment and do everything that needed to be done. So yeah, I started with my money. I mean, I've been running this thing with my funds basically.
Okay, so no outside money yet. How did you get on TV?
Yeah, well, okay. So when I started the show, I first of all got it on. I first of all uploaded it on YouTube because, of course, nobody is going to restrict you from uploading on YouTube. But then, like I mentioned earlier, my goal has always been TV. So I was, reaching out to these TV stations, and I was like, you know what, this is what I want to do. This is the show. What do you guys think about it? A couple of them were like, okay, you need to improve on this and that before you can get it on TV. And I was like, okay. So, and I worked hard to get the qualities that they wanted. And eventually, when I got it, they were like, okay, so this is right for TV. And they got it on TV. So now it's on 3 TV stations. Actually, they are Pan African TV stations. They are based in Cameroon, but Pan African TV stations. And I really intend to get Better Top or, on air as much as possible on as many other TV stations or channels as possible.
So how does that deal work? Because a lot of times in the States that, you know, they're trying to grab YouTubers that already have an audience, and sometimes they'll pay them great, sometimes they try
Money.
not to pay them at all. It's the reason why I have a job, because you gotta pay.
Yeah.
But do they pay you, or do you then have to go buy the airtime and then, you know, sell advertisement?
Okay, so the deal I have with these stations, they don't pay me. But then what we do is, I mean, when I get advertisement deals, and then we split the money, or the, you know, we split the advertisement fee from these deals that we get. So if they get the deal, we have a certain percentage split that we do. If I get the deal, there's a certain percentage split that we do. So that's how I make money from the TV shows. The TVs don't pay me for airtime. Neither do I buy airtime to be on air.
All right. All right. Now,
Yeah,
and you know, the bigger your show gets, the different the deals can become. But
definitely.
yes, and you did something where you're not just, you know, doing PR and everything else that you're doing. You are your own ad advertisement, your own marketing team. How many people do you have as team members that help support you with this?
Okay, I have three. No, sorry, I have five people I work with permanently, and then I have like 4, 5 other people who are not permanent, who are freelancers. Like if we have this kind of project, they come on it. So let's say we're talking like five plus me, that's six. So that's six permanent people, and then five freelancers.
Okay, so even if people have a business idea in the, you know, diaspora, they can buy advertising time from you. And I really want
Yeah.
to, I want to make this almost a walking commercial for anybody who sees this or that I send this to later on, whether they are listening, which majority of my people listen, but even those who
Yep.
watch. What range 2021? Because
Mm-hmm.
prices are only going to go up, folks. Should people be in to advertise? And is it, you know, for 30 seconds, 60 seconds, or do you have it where you put their banner somewhere, you know, throughout the
Mm-hmm.
whole duration of the episodes? But tell us what range so people can know how they need to spend their money before they email you.
Okay, so for, yeah, of course there are different opportunities, there are different options. So there's the 30 seconds option, there's the 60 seconds, there's the banner, there's the naming rights of the show, like, you know, Beta Top was sponsored by. There's also, you know, the banner on the screen when the show is on. There's also gift bags to the guests of the show. Yeah, I think, yeah, those are the options available. And for those once per season, that's 12 episodes, we are talking. Mm, let me do this conversion in my head, because in my mind I have CFA. Let me convert it to dollars.
No, do it in CFA. Do it in CFA.
Oh,
They can
really?
convert it. Yes.
All right. Okay. So we are talking 10 million francs last per year. 10 million francs. So I think the least package is 500,000. So 10 million francs, 500,000 francs. 10 million,
Okay.
the 10 million francs is actually per year. It's like a yearly package, like that covers everything: naming rights of the show, slotting your advert in between the show, everything, like even gifting and all of that. So
Now,
yeah.
now that's about 18,000 US dollars, and that's per the
Yeah,
year.
actually.
Yes, for your biggest
Mm-hmm.
package. What about
Mm-hmm.
for those who say, "Chai, 18,000"? Do you have something even lower for me? Maybe if it's even per
Yes.
episode, what is that
Yeah,
price?
exactly. Like I said, I mean, it runs from 18,000 to from that 10 million to 500,000 francs. 500,000 francs is like $250. So there's an option for $250 for one episode. So I mean, if everybody can find a price in all the options.
Okay, so
Yeah.
everybody can
So
can
yeah.
find, you know, 250 to 18,000 and above that you
Mm-hmm.
can find something. And now this is the real commercial with the advertising. how are you measuring that, or how can the companies measure that, or like what's the past experience? Do you have like a great story to say, look, we've had one advertiser, they advertise and they always come back or paid for a bigger package because they got so many customers it paid for itself?
Yes, I mean we have advertisers that have come. I mean we have still people who keep working with us because of course they keep getting the results they want. There's a skincare brand that's based in the US that has been like a very loyal customer because from when she started advertising with us, her products were not known in Cameroon. She's a Cameroonian, but she's based in the US. But right
Mm.
now, like I mean, Cameroon is like one of the countries where she ships her products to the most just because of, the platform. So yes, of course, we have so many of those kind of success stories. So it's actually a win-win because we are on three TV stations and we air on, I mean, during prime time. So we are talking about a population, the age range of 24 to 32, sorry, 24 to 42. So that those are the people we are talking about. So it's a very, very marketable audience, especially, I mean, of course, depending on the products you want, but then it's a very marketable audience, and it's an audience of young and enthusiastic people who are very, very social media savvy. So it's a good market.
Okay, and we're gonna talk after because I'm gonna be telling everybody, and I'm gonna say, okay, now I'm a sales rep for
Right.
yes, and you can keep it. I don't know if I want to keep it in my Orange Money account or
On my
just have it.
MTM, you
Yeah,
have
or
so much
MTN.
information about Cameroon, Kellen. Thanks to
You,
your wife.
uh, I have been, and we're gonna talk off air. I'll tell you even more because you being in Douala, next time I'm in Limbe,
Right.
you and I are gonna hang out. My wife might say, "Look, I'll see you later. Limbe is too hot. We're gonna go back
Yeah.
to wherever Yaoundé is her favorite." But yes,
Okay.
I love it. I love it. Now let's talk about because I'm a walking billboard, and I know some Cameroonians, and have interviewed some as well. But I want to know, how easy has it been to connect with certain people? And I'm asking this really not for the audience, for myself, because I know if you haven't, there's some people I want to connect you with who are right there in
Mm-hmm.
Douala.
Yeah. Okay. You mean in terms of connecting people in terms of like how?
Getting guests, because sometimes I hear
Oh,
people throughout the
yeah.
whole African continent, they say, Kellen,
Mm-hmm.
it's easy for you because
Mm-hmm.
you're an American person, even though you're kind of
Mm-hmm.
unique, but you're an
Yeah.
American person. But a lot of Africans, especially if they feel like they're at the top, they won't
Mm-hmm.
even respond to our WhatsApp or our emails. So I mean, how easy it has it been to get good guests that you've wanted?
Okay, for me, I think it's one of the privileges I have for being in the media because first of all, I have a reputation of of running better things which I do. So I have a reputation of being an authentic blogger, and so it's really not difficult for me to reach out to anybody I want to reach out to, because for the most part, the people I want to reach out to already know who I am. So it's easy to just call them, or I mean these are people I work with. I've worked with some of them, so it's not difficult because I have a good reputation. So I mean whenever I call, they already know who it is, so it's easy to make the connection. So I really don't have any difficulty getting anybody I want to get on my show. Like I've not had any difficulty.
Oh, I
I
love to
think
hear
it's
that.
yeah, it's difficult for a lot of other people because probably it's different industries, and that's why I think it's a privilege I have. First of all, I've been in this media thing in Cameroon for a very long time, since 2014, 2013. So I already have a notoriety. Even people who don't know me physically, they know maybe my platforms, they know what I do. So if I introduce myself as the founder of this thing, it's they'll be like, oh, so it's really not hard to connect with people. But then people have the difficulty a lot because nobody knows who this person is. So it's, I mean, of course, and there's the ego thing, like what you mentioned is real, where you reach out to some people and they're like, oh, who is this talking to me, and and all of that. But I think that's one area where I'm in luck, if I'll say that. Yeah. I'm in luck.
Well, it's definitely more than luck, because you have that. We can't tell the people your secret on why people respond to you the way they do. But if you don't
Right.
respond the first time, she'll hit you at the second time where you'll never forget it. So she has some. It's just that je ne sais quoi. She has that it factor that she can get you to say yes. Now, we know that many folks in PR, and you and I have been in a group together years
Yeah.
back where people were talking about PR and folks were kind of struggling to get it together. People couldn't
Mm-hmm.
get clients. If they had clients, I don't want to say go too much into detail, but even some of people's superstar clients won't
Yeah.
pay them what they're worth based on
Exactly.
that ego. How
Yeah.
profitable is PR in Cameroon?
This question. PR in Cameroon is at a very sensitive stage. It's true that the truth is many companies in Cameroon are starting to pick on PR like now. It's now that they're starting to understand the necessity of PR. A lot of companies have the culture of getting a marketing manager. And then when they get a marketing manager, the marketing manager, dabbles a little bit into PR. So the marketing manager is usually the person that organizes media tours, if there have to be any. They are the ones who usually run ad campaigns. They are the ones who usually come up with ad concepts. Like that's how it has been for a very long time. Even up to now, that's like the norm in Cameroon. Just a few, um, just a few, companies, usually those who are exposed, or companies who have maybe younger people running the companies, or multinational. They're the ones who know that, okay, I need to work with a communication agency. I actually need to get a publicist. And those are the people who get publicists. So it's PR in Cameroon is very, very complicated because getting clients is hard, honestly, because and then the multinationals, for example, or the big companies who know that they need to have publicists would definitely go for the big publicist companies. Like the reigning the big publicist companies in Cameroon actually making a lot of money because they have a name, and a lot of them are maybe through referrals. Okay, for example, um, let's take a company like Orange Cameroon, for example. Maybe or the Orange company in France, for example, might be working with this PR agency, and they have a branch in Cameroon. Definitely, Orange Cameroon is going to work with them as well. So it's difficult now for maybe a small communication agency to get that contract to work with Orange Cameroon, for example, because of course they already have a relationship with this other big communication agency. So it's difficult, but then it's possible, and I think there's also an opportunity, you know, for PR companies to do a lot of work. Now you have to work hard to get these deals. Like actually, because what I do or what I used to do when I just started PR, what I used to do was I used to reach out to these companies and then offer my services because I know that they don't even know that they need these services. So I reach out to them and tell them this is what I can do for you. You need me to do this, let me do it. And then some of them will be like, okay, but you're expensive, but this is what we do. So, okay. So I mean, so in the beginning, a lot of times you just, you accept, whatever small pay you can get because you know that these people don't even know your work. So okay, you want to just have an opportunity to prove what you can do. And then you know that okay, when you prove them that this is what you can prove to them that this is what you can do, definitely they'll want to give you more opportunities. And then you're also trying to build your portfolio because you're like, okay, because you cannot be getting these big deals if you have not done anything. So in the beginning, it's really hard, but then of course with time, and I think that we have gotten to a point where a lot of companies are starting to see the necessity of actually, working with publicists. So it's getting better, if I must say.
Well, I'm glad to hear that it's getting better. And I mean,
Yeah,
you are doing
trying to.
what?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
you're not trying to. You got to take that back. You are doing, because if you think about everything that you're doing, this is how the likes of Oprah, somebody who I just won't fan out with, but will flirt with, and getting that conversation and trying to get into the head. If you get to meet an
Mm,
Oprah, right? Like,
yeah,
everybody has their crushes, and those people you just want to hold on to because they have some type of knowledge or something that you
yeah.
can tap into that will make you better. And it's not always a sexual thing, for people who just go there and say, "Ooh, yeah." It's
Yeah.
it's deeper than that. You orgasm before you even think about something like that from certain
Right.
people. But you're
Yeah.
doing that and you're building it and you're bringing other people with you. So while bringing other people with you, I have to ask, because you mentioned your organization prior to, what is a
Mm-hmm.
community give back that you are doing or that you want to do in the future?
Okay, so the community give back that I'm doing is actually what I mentioned, my NGO, Better Girls Organization, which is actually a platform for women to inspire other women. So so what we do is we create opportunities for women, girls to inspire other girls. So through areas of entrepreneurship, health, we run campaigns on social media. We do events like live events. We call them Better Girls Talk events. So we invite people or experts, women that are experts in particular fields, to come and share their experiences or to teach or to educate. Like we have held events on breast cancer awareness, cervical cancer awareness, events on girls and entrepreneurship, events on premarital sex. So that this particular event was for young children, like actually very, very young kids, why they should not get into premarital sex and the disadvantages it has. We have held events on entrepreneurship. We have held events on girls and engineering. Was for a group of engineering students in Yaoundé. We talked to them about, why being a woman and being an engineer, because some of them had fears that because they're engineers, they might not get married, or their husbands, it will be difficult for them to work as engineers and have stable families. So we had to bring engineers who are already working and who have families to talk to them and let them know that this is something you can do. So basically, Better Girls Organization is a platform for women to inspire other women, because I believe that as women, there's a lot that we have in ourselves. There's a lot of potential that we have. And if we are raising better girls, definitely we are raising better mothers. We are going to be raising better sons who will become better men. So it's just about making the world a better place. It's really, and a lot of times when people talk about women empowerment, people be like, oh, they have come again and they want to fight men. No, that is really not about fighting men. It's just about empowering women to know who they are. Because women usually, a lot of women suffer from all kinds of complexes. They suffer from all kinds of weaknesses. They think less about themselves. So it's about just letting them know that this is who you are. Because of course, if you're a man and your wife is empowered to the best, if she's the best of herself, she'll definitely give you the best of herself as a wife, and she'll give her children the best of herself as a mother. So that's just what we want to do. We want to raise women that will be the best of themselves for the society, for the community, raise better sons that will become better fathers, just be better wives to their husbands, better mothers to their kids, better friends to their friends, better sisters to their siblings, and all of that. So yeah, that's my way of empowering and giving back to society.
Well, with these women, if you ever find a way to, a lot of these folks and Cameroonians are so educated,
Mm-hmm.
just I would say right behind in this country, you
Mm-hmm.
would say Nigerians are the most educated and Cameroonians, it's all one people. We're all one people, one Africa. But
Yeah.
if you can find a group who could do services like Fiverr, or if they're on Fiverr, we all
Mm-hmm.
know these are the Cameroonian girls, the Douala girls, the Limbe
Mm.
women, because
Yeah.
we're looking for people to connect with, and we shouldn't always have to go to India to get things with our projects. We should be able to start
Yeah.
right from home, right from the
Yeah.
continent. So if you know
Exactly.
anybody who does, the editing really well or the PowerPoints, I want to know them
Mm-hmm.
personally, because with you, we need to have these people be promoted to others who need their services.
Exactly. Exactly.
And I want to go further to say, and this is probably more for the men, that whoever's preparing your chop, that good aru, that good agusi pudding, whatever
Yeah.
your dishes, you may want to treat them very nice. If not,
Exactly.
they will show you pepe in a very bad way. so so with that, I love what you're doing, and I want to take some time
Thank you.
off air, people, to talk with my PR sister, my PR friend. I want to, do that without you guys being in my business. But I also, after this interview, want you guys to go follow her, go subscribe. What is the best platform for the masses to reach out to you, for personal or for business?
Okay, Clarisse Ndinge on Instagram. That's my most accessible platform. Clarisse Ndinge on Instagram. You can send a DM. You can, email me. Email me clarissndinge@gmail.com. And I'm also on Twitter at Ndinge. So Clarisse Ndinge is ClarissENDinge. Yeah. So
And
yeah.
if you guys don't see it in the title, you haven't read the title. You just clicked, and we still love you. But links will be in the description box or in the pinned comments,
Yeah.
depending on where you are listening to this. So you guys have been blessed by the game. We're going to take this off air. Thank you.
Thank you.